It is good to see you again, Aloy. I see you have recovered Demeter.
Aloy, can you come downstairs? Beta has something you need to hear.
Okay. I'll be right down.
Aloy, I have managed to unlock additional rooms within the facility.
Got it. Hi, Gaia.
Hello, Aloy.
So there's a few people here now, and they're learning. All about you, the ancient world. Almost like what was supposed to happen before Apollo was purged.
Yes. While the loss of the Apollo database was catastrophic, there is still much that can be gleaned from the data you have uncovered. For instance, Varl has been reviewing the last recorded entries from those who perished during the Pharaoh Plague. Hearing their hopes and fears made him quite somber.
Anything I should be worried about?
I do not believe so. I have elected not to intervene, to allow him to process this on his own terms.
So the facility where I recovered Demeter used to be a Pharaoh agricultural research facility. It's where they created the biomass conversion system, but also adamantine wreath. Did Elizabeth know they were working on that?
It is likely she was briefed on other efforts to combat the machine swarm, though her focus was devoted only to Zero Dawn.
That makes sense. But they actually got the wreaths to work. If they've been able to deploy it against the Pharaoh Plague in time...
Using the data you recovered on the project, I ran several simulations and have concluded that it would never have worked. In all scenarios, the Pharaoh war machines would eventually hack and deactivate the wreaths before they could contain the swarm.
So Zero Dawn really was the only solution. There was a lot of data in the greenhouse facility about agriculture. Do you think it'll help the Quen fix their homeland?
I will run a query. Complete. The data contains information about novel crop production methods, which may be beneficial to the tribe in the long term.
But new crops aren't going to save the world, so I guess it's on us.
It is.
I guess I should get going.
As you say. Be well, Aloy.
So the old ones painted their faces with something called makeup.
Hey, look who's back. You find what you're looking for?
I did. One...
Can't wait.
I was hoping you could help me, and it also has to do with the
Really?
You still...
Yeah, it's... I thought maybe not much like their images put together. They were made to look like they were the Oseram, like...
How are things going around here?
Hey, you tell me.
What did you do?
I made one about how does anyone fight?
From the looks of it...
Yeah, well...
Just... I discovered, and it looks like they're the ones overriding. They're familiar with ancient tech.
So... blowing up Meridian and retro... And now you're telling me we have another group with an army of machines and blood...
Pretty much.
Well, that's just...
I found out who's running them.
Oh, no. She was one of them. First female tinker in the... About when her family got killed in the... I thought she was dead, though.
Well, she's not. And she wants we have to find out where she's on.
Way back. You came looking for me and Marie, and there's a chance the only way she'd get those is...
Well, their focuses would make it easy.
But if I'm there waiting for...
You could scan for their focuses.
If an Oseram's wearing one of these, they'd have to be a part of that...
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I've been known to have those once.
All right. I'll keep... You let me know if you find any.
We'll find her.
You should know. He's the one who gave them...
Why doesn't that surprise me?
At least we know we're good at recognizing...
Damn straight.
How are things going?
Hey, you tell me.
What did you do?
I made one about how does anyone fight?
From the looks of it.
Yeah, well.
Just... I better get going.
All right.
Aloy, we've gathered some supplies in that chest. Take what you need. Aloy.
2 down.
I'm glad her healing can...
Found anything else combing?
Varl and I have been looking. Apparently there used to be... Can you imagine that? I'd give anything. Though I know at least I can find as inspiration. Her memory honors them.
Are you guys training with Erend as well?
If you count
I've been told.
Of course not.
Good.
I was going for a... He called the Utaru... Laughed at the idea of us simple... Before I knew it, he and I were battling. The man is slow, but don't look so worried. Next time he's going...
Just try not to kill each other.
Injuring his pride.
I better get going.
Right. You've got that sub-function to deliver.
Hey.
Aloy.
I'm holding up.
Good.
Must be strange.
I can see machines like their strengths and weaknesses simply to think that such a...
Does it still hurt?
I try not to think about it. It's difficult to
I can't claim.
Then you have my...
I should get going.
Back to my
Oh, looks like I can open that door now. There's a lot of equipment in here. Gaia? What was all this for?
This room was designed for management of the facility.
I've been tackling the design of the ag lab. Place is gonna have a lot of seed stock to work with. My favorite? Sepal 626.
Console.
Calotropis gigantea.
Thousands of plant samples.
The crown flower.
Stored deep below the facility.
We used to have
I
one
could ask
in
Gaia
our
about
backyard.
that the next time I talk to her.
Butterflies always fluttering around. Every morning, August would run out there to check under the leaves. See if any caterpillars turned into chrysalises. Now, I'd like to imagine that the future will be filled with them.
So the old ones painted their faces with something called makeup. Like a car.
I don't think that door had power before, but looks like it's malfunctioning.
Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac! Daddy sure does love his little big man.
She found that recording from the data on your focus. She's been watching it a lot. I think it helps calm her.
You know, I used to watch this a lot too. Whenever I wanted to take my mind off things.
Daddy sure does love his little big...
But there's something you need to tell me?
While you were gone, I came down here to check on her. Then we started talking. Right, Beta? She's been thinking about how to capture Hephaestus, studying the data Gaia gave her. But we started talking about some other stuff. You know, just getting to know each other, right? And then she told me that one of the Zeniths might be different from the others.
Tilda. You saw her at the Hades Proving Lab.
Go on.
On the way to Earth, the Zeniths never showed their faces. My servitor caretaker referred to them as my benefactors, and promised I'd meet them someday, when I had learned enough.
And then?
One day, a data channel opened in my training interface. In it, Tilda was waiting for me. In a virtual replica of a house on a cliff, overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. She showed me paintings, books, media files. We met there in secret many times. But a few months later, it stopped.
Can you tell us why, Beta?
I found some data about Tilda at the Hades Proving Lab. I think she was the liaison between Far Zenith and Zero Dawn. She knew Elizabeth Sobek, that's for sure.
Maybe that's why she reached out to you?
What else can you tell us about Tilda?
She liked to talk about her paintings.
What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth, how she joined the Zeniths, something like that?
She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions. But I think, back on Earth, she was an expert programmer, given that she built a data channel the other Zeniths couldn't detect.
Is there anything else about her that we might be able to use to our advantage?
She was the first real person who ever bothered to speak to me. I wasn't really assessing her for strengths and weaknesses.
You said Tilda showed you paintings and let you access media files?
Every time we met, she showed me a new painting. I think she was Dutch. All of her favorite pieces were from their golden age in the 1600s. Portraits, allegories, ships at sea. She had so many.
They didn't interest you?
I liked her media portal. It had so much more than my training interface. Clips, shows, holos. My favorite was this one called Second Time Around, about a family whose kid comes back after disappearing during the Hot Zone crisis.
Right, but did this portal have anything about the Zeniths themselves? Anything we could use?
No. Any information about them was redacted.
You said that Tilda reached out to you using a data channel?
It appeared in my training interface as another assignment. When I opened it, there were a series of intermittent glitches. I realized they formed a transpositional cipher. Instructions on how to open up a new virtual space. When I entered it, my training interface disappeared. Instead of the usual holographic teachers and files, I was in a perfect recreation of her home.
And you're sure the other Zeniths never knew about it?
To them, it looked like I was still in training. Toiling away. Alone.
So this secret virtual space looked like a house with an ocean view?
I could see whitecaps and hear waves crashing on rocks below. And there were gulls crying outside. Inside, Tilda had frames that showed off her favorite paintings, changing at intervals to match the light. There was an armchair she liked. She'd sit there and gaze outside while I looked through her things. We spent hours in that house. I never wanted to leave.
So Tilda set up a secret virtual space where she could talk to you, a house on a cliff. Then later, she cut you off. But other than the fact that Tilda knew Elizabeth, you don't know why she did those things?
I don't! Okay? I thought of every possible reason that would make her leave, but whatever I did wrong, I don't know what it is. When I finally met the others, she ignored me. Acted like the data channel never existed. None of this even matters. Tilda's the same as the others. It won't help us defeat them.
Okay. Let's leave it at that then.
What's wrong?
I'm trying, Laurel. But she is tough to take. I'm out there in the wilds, risking my life every day, and all she can do is hide in there and tell us how hopeless it all is. I'm sorry she's had a rough time, but she is really not helping right now.
You always seem to be on top of everything, so I sometimes forget about what you've been through. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were so banged up you couldn't even walk. About that. When I pulled you out of the water back near the proving lab, you were muttering Rost's name. You never talk about him. But he raised you, trained you. You must miss him a lot.
Of course I do. But I don't have time to think about that now. I need to get back out there.
Okay. I'll keep working with Beta. Gaia says she knows a lot about Zero Dawn. And maybe she just needs some time to adjust, and then she can help us with Hephaestus.
Sure. But I won't hold my breath. There. Let's see what we got. Looks like some kind of maintenance space. I wonder where this leads. Cells? Huh. That did it.
Aloy? A bunch of lights just turned on up here? Was that you?
Oh. Huh. Yeah, I guess it was.
I sure don't. You sound like a dying long leg.
Hey.
Of course.
It's hard to believe.
To live on.
Because it's not.
That way. Why?
I should get back out.
We'll be here.
Oh.